The human experience. Love. Companionship. Boobs. Intimacy. How to court a woman. And how to absolutely fucking not court a woman. Welcome to today's video, you beautiful, wonderful being. Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos. Welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. You also look absolutely astonishing. You know, the only thing that would make you look more astonishing is by having a glow-in-the-dark emotional support human by your side. Oh yes, indeed, everyone looks more dandy, fine, delicious with a glow-in-the-dark emotional support human by their side. Check out the link in the description, available now. Only for a limited time only. Can do this. It is very beautiful. Who needs love when you can have an emotional support team? Anyway, speaking of love, in this modern world, dating is difficult. Love is difficult. Relationships might be difficult. Intimacy is difficult, especially in the online world. You have online dating, Tinder, which seems to be kind of, you know, the Twitter equivalent of cesspools when it comes to dating. What an absolute treat. And there are right ways and wrong ways to go around this modern hellhole of dating and love and gender questions and equality and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to discuss when it goes completely astray. Welcome to Incel Logic. Let's talk about it and maybe laugh about it just a little bit together. Enjoy. Mwah. Incel cries about being unable to have naughties and thus being labeled an incel. Tell the incel just to have naughties with an escort. No, that doesn't count. Tell the incel to go clubbing and talk to people. No, club girls aren't pure. Whatever that means. Tell the incel to find hobbies to meet nice people. I only like anime and gaming. I want a pure virgin GF who likes anime and gaming like me. Your problems are not real. I think one important thing with meeting people in general, especially nowadays when it's so easy to just hop on an app or swipe and stuff, which is like detrimental for people's mental health in many cases anyway, it's like take on hobbies or activities where you're more likely to meet people. It can just be taking up like a cooking class to go to, and you will meet people, or take up a hobby or something, sitting at home watching anime, or like swiping a dating app where like most things are just bots or, you know, Instagram promotions nowadays anyway, isn't probably the way to go about it for most people. Not saying it can't work, but there are better ways to do it. And for God's sake, the answer isn't like to project everything on the world. Women aren't inherently evil, at least not more so than men are. People just like having people around them, are like fun to have around. Okay, it's usually not that deep. What went wrong with marriage in this generation? Men don't trust women, and women feel like they don't even need men anymore. What the frick was the spark of all of this crying emoji? Men have to now get women to like them, and a lot of men aren't likable. Let's be honest about the situation. How many generations of men in history have ever had to get women to like them in order to have a woman be with them? We're probably the first to ever have to do this, so nobody knows what to do. I mean, there's a reason why all the stupid love stories from like the olden days is always about forbidden love, because everyone gets married off and they're like, but this is the one I truly like, but you never have to worry about them liking you back because you're gonna be married off anyway. You know? Damn, things changed. We're 2 generations removed from a woman not being able to have a bank account without a man. 3 to 4 generations removed from when they couldn't buy a home, couldn't work, couldn't get educated, and they couldn't do poo without a man. Like at best, he was probably emotionally distant and patriarchal. The bros used to have 2 whole families miles apart of each other and was emotionally abusive to both. That's not flying today, and truthfully speaking, it shouldn't. I think it's a good thing, because it means you can choose partner in both directions, you know, not to be married off or to create family bonds. The reason should be just for you alone. That should be something beautiful, but of course it comes with a little bit of added responsibility. A lot of men want the same relationships they saw their families had, but never thought to ask were the woman happy in those situations. The real answer, a lot of them weren't. Women quite literally used to need a man, so they had to be with somebody regardless if they liked the man or not. Today, they truthfully don't. They can leave your butt and be perfectly fine. Hell, some of them might be better off. Your grandfather was probably a horrible husband. So fast forward to today, where a woman, truthfully speaking, don't need your butt. You gotta come harder than your ancestors. Gotta have some substance. I think the key in any relationship, especially when you're an adult and genuinely looking for like a life partner, is what can you contribute? And I don't mean in a purely transactional way. either. That's not the point. The point is that, does life get better by having this person around you? That is the question you should ask yourself first if you're looking to find someone. Do I actually have something to contribute that would increase the life quality of the person I would spend it with? And vice versa too. Do I want this other person around me because they make my life better? And on average, maybe people look for slightly different things. Who cares? But that's still like the basic formula that most people go for. It's not that deep, you know? It really isn't. Bikini beach picture. You are a wife and a mother and far past a teenager. There is no need for this post. Oh, it's all about their ego. Whoa, wait a second. What is that profile picture? Oh, my lord. Rules for thee, but not for me. It is very convenient how that works, isn't it? You're not the teenager, baby. Jesus Christ. Isn't that a good thing, though? Like, is it... I'm gonna be honest, if you read a bit more into it, it sounds even worse. Like, only people that are like 19 or younger, lightly clad pictures online. The implication of this complaint is absolutely fucking wild. Oh my god. Guys online.
Women don't need like 4-foot-tall buttholes with abs that make loads of money.
The millions of average-looking, kind, working-class married men. Pretty sure they don't. Honestly, I think a lot of this logic just comes from very biased sources. I think when people assume this, they just look at, for example, specifically very skewed dating apps, or maybe social media, where you only see like the, not even the 1%, but like the 1% of the 1% that become the biggest fitness influencers, or whatever it might be. And you look in the comments and you always have people drooling over their abs or their curves or whatever it might be. But this isn't reality. I remember around the time this kind of stuff was so trendy, like incel stuff or red pill or whatever, I just remembered, wait a second, if I just look around me at my friends, everyone has partners. And some of them are fit, some of them are don't, some of them look like this, some are tall, some are short. Most people that are just normal, working, pleasant people find a match. You have roughly 50% men, 50% women, so if some people don't find a match, that means the other ones don't either. Life isn't a Tinder dating pool, and life isn't social media influencers. Like, this skewed worldview isn't real. It doesn't exist. Or at the very least only exists in very certain bubbles, like, I don't know, in hookup culture or dating apps maybe. And of course the hypocritical part is that it always goes two ways, right? Who do you think is gonna get the most right swipes on frickin' Tinder? It's like, it's always gonna be the people who are photogenic. Like, that's just a little bubble market that Tinder happens to be. It's not real life. That's not the entirety of the world. It's a very small, very biased sample, very specific trend. Go out into the real world. It really helps. Like, literally touch grass is a really good tip sometimes. Shoulders balanced, slight head lean, more head lean. He is leaning into her, hand is in shame in the pocket. The pee-pee is facing the woman's private parts, hand in confidence. Look, alpha dog with perfect posture, feet balance, feet off balance. Summary, he is leaning into her. She is standing straight. His pee-pee is facing her personal parts. Her personal part is facing the world. What the hell? Okay. His shoulders and feet are off balance. Her shoulders and feet are balanced. He has a hand shame. She has hand confidence. Dog has perfect alpha posture. Wait, so you're saying that the family dog is more of an alpha than the husband because he was leaning for a picture? Is this still a thing that people actually do? Like, these oddly hyper-detailed analysis of body language in still pictures. Like, if you're gonna be an armchair psychologist, at least use live footage where you can actually see body language. For God's sake. Why can't a man lean in? When a man leans into a girl, he reveals that he feels needy and lower value. He reveals that he has a weak mindset and that he feels dependent on her. I remember seeing these kind of analysis like ages ago already. It was something along the lines of, if a woman likes you in class when you talk to her, she will like be towards you like this. You know, spread herself open to you with every limb. But if she doesn't like you, she will cross her legs and like turn away from you and only talk to you like this. You know, she doesn't present anything. That's how it works. This is an accurate science and couldn't like possibly depend on, you know, I don't frickin' know, the direction of the chair. This is exactly what turns her off. She is looking for strength and confidence in a man, not weakness. I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a limb, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree with this hypothesis or not. I think a lot of these theories probably take advantage of people who struggle picking up social cues to begin with. And instead of having, for example, a good friend that you can bounce things with and kind of learn more about how people work and how they express themselves, you get caught up in this kind of stuff, which is very much fishing on people who are already struggling, which is what I don't like about a lot of trends online that I see, and this in particular. You know, this doesn't appeal to people that have figured out how to read body language or know when someone is interested in you, for example. It picks up people who are already kind of struggling and looking for answers, and this provides a very easy answer that is overanalyzing very mundane things that people that aren't struggling with this wouldn't look twice at. Most people that have been dating or been doing this kind of stuff knows relatively well when someone is flirting with them or not. Sometimes it goes completely over your head because someone thinks they're being sneaky and smooth and the other person just says, oh shit, you know, that definitely happens sometimes. But like for the most part, it's pretty easy to tell when someone isn't into you, for example. So you don't need these weird graphs. So this provides an easy answer to people I think might be already struggling and would just need a friendly hand in coaching instead, you know? Or just friends around them that aren't into whatever this is. It's a bit sad to see. Mexican women not hitting the wall at 22 challenge. Difficulty impossible. Okay, so we have Nico Lull a couple of years ago and Nico Lull now. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is just like looks, goals overall, to be honest. If you think this is hitting the wall, you're like so disconnected from reality. I don't even think you're looking at real people, to be honest. Oh my god, everyone doesn't look like... I don't even know what it would be. A literal, like, anime character? Dear God? So, like, hitting the wall is literally just becoming an adult. That's literally what that means now. I mean, the same thing as the other post. The implications of this are absolutely wild. As soon as the woman becomes an adult, she's hit the wall. What are you saying, man? I think as a general thought on, for example, fitness and stuff, has nothing to do with this picture at all. It's more just a general commentary on adulthood, is that a lot of stuff changes with your body when you reach adulthood. So I think it's good to have, for example, healthy habits or keep moving in the same way you did when you were young. For example, if you used to ride your bike to school or play soccer in the recess, that's a lot of exercise that you just kind of take for granted that might disappear when you're an adult. So keeping those kind of things in mind, along with like a metabolism that slows down a bit, sure, good to think about, but this ain't it, fam. Hitting the 22? Are you kidding? God damn. This is ridiculous. How old is the person making this tweet? I swear to God, they are either 15 or 55. There's no in between. If every incel somehow got a girlfriend, the net violence in the world would only go up, because guys who think like this are violent to their girlfriends. It is not their singleness that's dangerous, it's the way they think about women. I mean, you see the same kind of thing with the nice guy stuff too. I am such a nice guy, but if you reject me, I'm gonna wish harm on you and your family. That's not what a nice person does. A nice person can take a no. That's like one of the very, very basic things about decency. I think life struggles have always existed, but I think it's gotten worse in a way with the internet, and it's the same kind of reason why, for example, pseudoscience seems to be like on complete crack nowadays, because people that are struggling with things, or for example have these wild conspiracy takes or whatever it might be, they find their bubble who are appealing to them, which is kind of low density in reality that you wouldn't find it. For example, one person struggling with dating, say, or they're struggling with social cues or, you know, that kind of thing, instead of having just friends around them who they might actually meet someone who fits them through and just naturally working through it, instead they get sucked down these rabbit holes online that give kind of easy explanations that blame something else, or it only blames genetics, or it only blames looks or height or whatever it might be. But if you just look in reality, like, that's not the case, man. I mean, God, if I just follow that logic, it doesn't add up at all with the stuff I have seen around me. The most successful people with promiscuity, if you want to go that route, hasn't really correlated with that stuff, at least not in my vicinity. So I don't know, man. It's just weird. 1 star. I just recently started coming out to this location for the cute goth girl who works there. Turn out she's a total birch. Ignored me for an hour, even though I was standing by the register the entire time. Wait a second, so you stood by the register, just awkwardly looking at an employee for an hour? I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me, are you gonna order something?
No. I'm just here for other reasons.
All right, well, I'm gonna go to the back.
I mean, I haven't seen this scenario in person, but it already sounds unhinged. She blew off every attempt to try to get to know her to possibly ask if she would like to be taken out on a date. I ended up having to buy something I didn't even want to get her to even have a conversation with me. She's just minding her business and doing her job, man. Come on. And then I felt I was being rushed out the door. She needs to work on being more attentive to people who are just trying to be nice to her. No, she's just doing her job. She doesn't get paid to put up with people that are... I wouldn't even call this flirting. This is just like creeping. She needs to work on being more attentive to people who are just trying to be nice to her, and not just giving all her attention to people buying something right then and there. But that's her job, though. I think you would feel the same way, for example. Imagine you were doing your job with whatever that would be, and someone would come up to you and start pestering you about things that isn't your job, and you're not interested in the person in the least, and they just keep going for a literal hour. I think you would be pissed too. But this post just lacks that self-awareness, you know? I don't think the person writing this would put up with this stuff if the roles were reversed. But they never think that far, do they? Serious, why I am against racism. Racism is just a stupid way to divide ourselves and fight each other. Woo! Okay, starts off nicely. When we should be focusing on our common enemy, females. Alright, let's see where this is going. I imagine a world where men of all races, nationalities, and religion put aside their differences and work together to remove rights from females. Okay, fam. Okay. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest. This has happened in history already. This isn't a new concept. It's in fact a very old concept that we kind of, got rid of throughout the years. And you know what the thing is? The standards on you as a man were probably, I don't know, maybe higher in some ways. You think someone would want to marry off their daughter to you? Like, what the hell? Even in that context, this wouldn't work in your favor. Maybe just, I don't know, don't be such a poo-poo who literally wishes for people to not have human rights because they don't want to go on a date. Incel's mom messaged me after I stopped being friends with her son because he memorized my phone's password, found private pictures of me in my own camera roll, and sent them to himself. Oh my god, is this even legal? I'm not sure. This doesn't sound legal. Hey Blorb, this is Incel's mom. Incel told me what happened between you two. I wanted to tell you that you're not in trouble. Wait, not in trouble? Wait, you're telling them that they are not in trouble for someone breaking into their phone and invading their privacy. Oh gee, thank you so much, Incel mom, for this absolute grace you have bestowed upon me. That I am not in trouble for this. Wow, thanks. Incel feels horrible for what he did. Then you acknowledge they did something wrong? Or at least that they feel bad? He seems very stressed and he's lost his appetite. He is definitely in his room more than usual and hasn't gone fishing in the last week, which isn't like him at all. Last night at dinner he said he wanted to do very bad stuff involving a rope. Just between us, I think you two should work things out and be friends again. Okay, no, okay. Okay, I understand this parent probably just wants what's best for their kid, but this is atrocious. You're basically suggesting throwing this girl to the wolves, quite literally, instead of doing something about this. This is a deeper rooted issue. Bring them to therapy. Dear God, you can't ask them to just take a friend back after they have invaded their privacy so grossly. At this point, you're kind of just, I don't know, endorsing this, and it won't teach them any lesson about not doing this either, because then they will just do it again. Imagine that. Oh my god, I was creeping on my friend, so they didn't want to see me anymore, but I can always count on my mom pestering my friend to take me back. That's the life lesson you want to give? Holy shit. If that's legitimate what you're teaching this kid, they're gonna be alone and bitter forever. Get them to therapy. If they're really this sad about it and don't realize what they did is so wrong, they need to talk to a professional about it. This is bad. Be me. 19-year-old virgin. See a lot of people getting laid. 19-year-old? That's not even old. Jesus Christ. That's like, oh my god, fam. Like, getting a bit off topic, but that's something I've seen sometimes that is so sad. Like, oh my god, I'm an 18-year-old incel. What do you mean? You just haven't found someone to do it the first time with. 18? Are you kidding me? You're a kid. Dear God. Girls only go for the chance to get pee-pee. Tinder profiles not getting any likes. Even the fat, ugly girls don't lower their standards. Lol. Get an idea. Evilpepe.jpg. Okay, that's like the kind of... Do you swipe right on everyone as well? You know? I mean, the attitude is absolutely horrific to begin with, but I don't think you do. Like, this is something that you engage in as well, in like the very Tinder-esque vain rating of people, but then you don't like it when it's the... I don't know, it's just weird. Get off Tinder. Get off Tinder. This is obviously not good for you. Evil Pepe.jpg. Create fake Chad profile. Instantly getting many matches. Pick the prettiest chick to that. Chat her up. We decide to get coffee. Go to coffee shop early and pretend to work on computer. She gets there. Waits at table. 15 minutes later, she sends a message. Oh, hey, Anon. I was just wondering where you are. Wait another 30 minutes. Tell her, oh, I came by and sorry I wasn't expecting you to look so different from in your pictures. Block and unmatch her. Look at her silently crying and walking out of coffee shop. Epic gamer win! I mean, I don't think this happened to begin with. This sounds like a fake fanfic someone made up in the shower. But hypothetically, even if it's true, you catfish someone, which I would assume you don't like when other people do to you either. You know, that's probably something that is upsetting. And then you take them to the place, purposefully hurt their feelings, and watch them being sad about it. This random person that haven't done anything to you, but of course, because genders are football teams and all foids are a hive mind for some reason. That seems to be the logic here. That's like a win. Yeah, I wonder why people don't want to date individuals like this. Gee, I wonder why. This sounds so tempting, like such a good time. Oh my god.
Japanese GF, feminine, shy, quiet and obedient, is 18 and looks 18, family-oriented and she knows housewife skill, love to stay at home and play video games with you, innocent, calming aura. American GF, masculine, loud and independent, is 18 and looks 45.
I mean, I don't know if the picture is related to the post, but if you think that looks 45, okay, well, I think, yeah, nah. Nah. What the hell? I mean, you couldn't even pick a picture that would, like, prove your point. Like, stock photo 45-year-old woman. You literally took, like, a selfie from Instagram of, like, a 20-year-old and be like, this looks 45.
Leaves house at 18 to go to the club and sleep with Tyrone instead of learning to be a wife.
Intimidating masculine aura! Holy shit! What do you mean intimidating masculine aura? Oh my god! I was standing and fantasizing in the shower all by myself, and I made up this meme to be upset about that doesn't even use pictures that would represent this already inaccurate meme. Oh, that'll show him.
I wish some girl could see past my looks and just like me for who I am.
I love you, Robert.
Yes, but you're ugly.
Doesn't that just encapsulate the vibe? Jesus Christ, man.
Baby, buddy of mine is in a horrible mood. Says he asked a girl out and she shot him down. Apparently some dude in her class asked her out right after and she said yes. Trying to cheer my buddy up, he goes on a rant about how girls will always choose poopy abusive bullies over good people. Says she hopes he abuses her so she can see how wrong she was. Ah, yes indeed, nothing like wishing harm on someone for turning down your date offer to prove how good of a person you are. Got him there, baby. He calls the guy who asked her out a worthless pile of poo scumbag. Piques my interest. I do a little snooping for this guy online. He's on our school football team, part of UNICEF. He's tagged in a post made by a local soup kitchen. Turns out he volunteers there twice a month. Think about my friend. Doesn't work out. Only hobbies are video games and poo posting. No job. Unironically once got in trouble for trying to steal from a homeless man. Guys, maybe the normies are right. Oh, are we the baddies? Having your crush ask out or say yes to being asked out by someone who isn't you can hurt, but newsflash, this is something that every single person has gone through. Most of the time, multiple times. I mean, dear God, I can't even remember how many times I've been shut down when I've tried to ask out someone I've been interested in. It's a pretty common concept, you know? But the self-awareness to be like, okay, maybe a person can be interested in someone and not someone else, like this should be like such baseline logic. Right? I mean, it probably goes for you too. You're not interested in everyone. Who is? Why do you hate men? Ugh. Incels deserve free naughties. Only 15% of men are doing all the women. Well, you can just look at, like, relationships and normal marriages, and you would come to the conclusion that this is obviously not true. That's a fact. So when you W words going to frick other men, it's fricked up. We literally need, like, a dictator and a revolution just so we can be able to go on date. You women make it so frickin' hard. If you need a dictatorship to force people to spend time around you, maybe it's time for, like, I don't know, a little bit of introspection. At that point, it's pretty far gone, don't you think? I would also love to know the source for this as well, because it just sounds so made up. That is absolutely beautiful. One thing I always find so ironic about this kind of post is that they're complaining that, like, a few men steal all the women, but at the same time they're also really eager to slutty shame women. Wouldn't you want that in that case? Like, wouldn't you want women to be more liberated and promiscuous, because it would also mean that there would be more, how should I put it, intimacy out there to be grabbed? You know, the whole logic is just so backwards, I don't get it. It's so weird. Wait, is it just a main character syndrome? Maybe that's what it is. Like, I am the center of the universe, so I deserve this stuff, but I don't want there to be more of the stuff out there. I just want myself to have it because obviously I deserve it, or something like that, even though I'm not gonna do anything to, you know, get it in the first place. But god damn, maybe it is. Holy crap, it all just comes together, doesn't it? Number of people who think about Chad's pee-pee, women, incel, yes indeed. That big, juicy, chatty boy, yes indeed. First time in gym. My very first exercise is bench. Next to me are some Zoomers. They snicker and say to themselves,
"This dude looks like he sits behind the computer 24/7.
About to cry. Make up some BS like I'm thirsty and go to the toilet so I can pack up and leave. Some dude stops me and says he can use bench. It's mother frickin' Chad, just like from the memes. Say, yeah. Ask if I will spot him. Oh, okay. We start to talk. He noticed I'm a first time in the gym. He teaches me to lift and we talk for an hour. For this whole hour it feels like I'm safe and protected. This Chad says, see you tomorrow, okay? I have leg day and I will teach you deadlifts. Is this how Chads are? It felt like a dream, but it was all real. Look at this wholesome picture. It's not something you think about, perhaps, but a lot of people you look at that perhaps are this have also had their first days. A lot of them have also experienced bullying and all this kind of stuff, and they know what it's like to be on the receiving end. Some of the more empathetic people I know, for example, are people that have experienced both sides, that kind of blossomed in time when they got older and adulthood, but they had some struggling years when they were, for example, teenagers. I think that sort of allows people to be humble even after they achieve something. Not wishing that on anyone. High school is a freaking nightmarish place. But that's the thing, especially in contexts like this. Everyone has had their first gym day, and a lot of people want to be helpful because they see what it's like and they have been there themselves. So this is really wholesome. I hope you keep going with this person. This sounds like a blast. What a bromance. I miss you.
She's devouring Chad's pee-pee right now, dude.
This is about my dead brother, but alright. Jesus Christ. Talk about like assuming everything is about something very specific. Jesus Christ, man. Why would you even do that? Do you even know the person you're commenting to? Holy shite.
The double standards in our society. Oh, look at this disgusting fantasy of a lazy, good-for-nothing entitled creep. Probably made by a virgin, lol, not a real man. Maybe he should put down the McDonald's and pick up some weights. I can't see any muscle on him. He must be weak as a jellyfish.
Yes, you go, girl. No one should have to settle for someone compatible with their health habits and lifestyle. You don't need to lose a pound, but men everywhere get to man up, get fit, get fashionable hairstyles, and bar them for most jobs, making 100K a year and not be chubby chasers, but love you for who you are. That is human embodiment of sloth. Jesus Christ. This is just like a made-up scenario to be angry about. People are allowed to like who they like, and people are to seek out people who also like them back. You know, there are all kind of matches that are made out there. That's just reality. And this isn't even real. I distinctly remember that one time there was this group of ladies who went to, for example, a gym to flirt with really buff dudes, and then they were really upset that it wasn't reciprocated, but then they were also super eager to like fat shame other men. So the whole thing became really hypocritical, and of course they got a lot of backlash for it because their attitude was absolute garbage. So this isn't really a thing that exists. Sure, maybe, but like there are silly people in all demographics. If there is an outrageous opinion, someone out there is gonna have it. That doesn't mean it's representative of any kind of average population. Most of the black pill is just men learning that women want to be with hot people, just like them. Oh, I mean, sort of, yeah. How to attract a life partner. Must always have a job, have friends and be social, but be really good at something, be at least somewhat muscular, constantly approach women, don't be meaningfully shy ever, no noticeable disabilities, have naughty experience, have relationship experience, have low body fat, have the intelligence to succeed in life but don't actually be a nerd, don't have bad skin, can't cover it up either, be able to provide for kids regardless if she says you want any, have your own home/apartment, have a car and drive it, have more income potential than her, be older than her, be taller than her, have more educational experience than her, be willing to give up time and energy to chase her. And here is woman, don't be land whale, optional. Yes, indeed. Let me just make this little meme, fat shaming women, and also put like really weird expectations on men. Fam. Okay.
This isn't reality, and there's a very big difference between if you see some like thirsty comments from either men or women, you know, coming after a fitness influencer or someone on TikTok or whatever, versus what people actually go for IRL. People sit on their phones and comment and fantasize about all kinds of stuff. This doesn't mean that like you have to achieve all this just to like get a partner. Most of the time it boils down to very simple things. So the thing is, if you're likable to be around, your social circles will probably increase as well, which means that you have more people that you meet on a day-to-day basis, which means that you increase the likelihood of also finding a partner. The thing with these kind of circles that I have never liked is that it encourages failure. It would be like going to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and everyone is encouraging each other to take shots. That's not how you fix something that you believe is an issue or something that you struggle with. This is not how to do it. It's endorsing the issue and projecting it somewhere else. It's weird and it's not productive.
The male finishes his nap and checks whether any females have appeared.
Oh my god, it's such a vibe, isn't it?
Hello, can y'all bully me into losing weight?
Right now, the highest quality man you can attract and keep might be someone like me.
There's just so much self-deprecation in this entire... Oh my god. I'm not sure if I should like laugh or cry, fam.
I love you. Not in a romantic way, but like as a friend and person I can talk to anything with. Here's a video of peeing.
When you say like, hey, I feel really comfortable about you, I feel like I can talk about anything with you and it's comfortable, that doesn't quite mean anything. It's not a literal statement. You don't describe like the shape of your poops, you know? That's like, why? Why do you even feel the need to share this? No, stop.
Hey, can I try rizzing you up?
Sure, lol.
Please. Who said that desperation isn't attractive? The most attractive thing ever is pure,
Unfiltered, sweaty desperation.
Oh yes, just make your spine tingle in all the wrong ways, doesn't it? Your bones are wet, by the way. Next meme.
Whenever people say weird stuff about masculinity, I think about Fred Rogers, LeVar Burton, Jim Henson, and Bob Ross. Universally beloved men who gave us so much by demonstrating empathy, charity, beauty, education, art, and patience. Masculinity shouldn't be a cage that traps you.
I think that's also something, especially with modern day media, or social media as well for that matter. Masculinity is always hyped up to be this very aggressive thing. You know, it's very one-dimensional. If you're loud, confident, and an asshole, then you're a real man. So, no fam. You know, the only reason these men that preach this kind of ideology are able to act the way they do is because they already have enough resources that it doesn't matter if people leave them. You know, that's the thing. A normal average man cannot act like this. It sort of turns into almost an MLM scheme, because the reason they are successful isn't this attitude. The reason they're successful is to convince young men that this attitude is what made them successful, and then they sell that attitude and that brand. That's how it works. A normal man acting like this is not gonna be successful. Like, Jesus Christ. You can look at all the clips online about the kids going up to the teacher and being like,
I'm the alpha male.
"Now, you think that works?" Of course it doesn't, it's cringe. And I mean, to be fair, it's also cringe when the influencers themselves do it, but they have enough, I don't know, freaking money and simps that it doesn't matter for them in the same way, which maybe says more about, like, how we treat influencerness and celebrities in the first place. Yeesh. Incels. You are not that ugly. That's a reoccurring theme. They're not as ugly as me. Come on, look. I know in anime and manga and movies and games, the pretty people are the norm. But in reality, the homely are the majority. Fat, thin, short, physically disabled, autistic, zits, whatever. Nothing wrong with you, be it real or imagined, is unique to you alone. And while it is true some features will make it harder to find a partner, not one or combination makes it impossible. But there is one thing that will make your genetic and romantic future frickin' extinct. If you're the sort of person who enters a forum where P-words, misogynistic beliefs, and violence against women is regularly promoted and celebrated, and polls regularly show large majority support of all of that, it will seep off of you like body odor. And frankly, if you can go to those forums and feel at home instead of awkward or disgusted, you are ugly in a place no surgery can fix. Inside. And that will guarantee you die alone. That is a thing in life in general. Bitterness, hatred, all these things radiate off of you. I know we kind of laugh about like auras and then vibrations and that kind of stuff, but personal vibes is very much a real thing. And if you spend too much time in these kind of ideology and stuff, it will seep off of you. I know, for example, friends I used to have back like 10 years ago or so who got sucked into these kind of rabbit holes and became, for example, very anti-feminist. And it seeped off of them. Like, these dudes weren't particularly violent or anything, but it just made them ridiculously unlikable because they were always bitter. They were always complaining about something. They were always doing this. And then you ask them, but bro, you're just sitting at home all day masturbating, playing video games, and you're unemployed. Like, bruh, like maybe spend all this energy on yourself first. And that can be harder for people, between individuals, because maybe you're dealing with a mental health issue, or maybe it's depression or social anxiety, whatever it is. But it starts with you. It's cliche as shit, but wasting your time doing this kind of stuff, which also reeks off for you like a bitter stench, is not the way to improve your life. And to add on top of that, people aren't hive minds, be that men or women, you know? That's not a thing. Look at Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Height doesn't... Well, now they're divorcing. Oh, I've seen this post before. Yeah, it fits pretty well here, doesn't it? Talk about cherry picking, doesn't it? I mean, Jesus Christ, I can probably name a dozen celebrities where the height is, you know, the traditional way, that also broke up or got divorced. You know, you can cherry pick any way you want. This is ridiculous.
I'm saving myself for a virgin trad wife.
Oh, I wish one day I could marry a deranged antisocial weirdo.
I mean, personal preference and all that, I guess. Yippee.
R-wording was already a thing back in the 1950s when women wore plaited below-the-knee skirts. R-wording was already a thing in the 1800s when women wore frocks and several layers of clothing underneath. R-wording has nothing to do with fashion and everything to do with R-wordists. I mean, yeah, very true. That whole like, oh my god, they were asking for it because they were wearing a certain set of pants. Nah, fam. Nah. Come on now.
Feminism is a cancer,
he typed, vaping and chugging Mountain Dew.
It is killing us men.
The microwave dinged. His taquitos were ready. The thing is that every demographic has toxic people, and this feels very kind of 2015 YouTube, you know, oh, libs getting owned by facts and logics kind of vibe, but it's always just nitpicking things, even clipping them out of context. Like a lot of the memed clips from that era, if you look at the entire thing, isn't even bad. It's just like a freeze frame of some face expression that looks like, oh, hashtag triggered, but then in reality it was just a normal conversation for like 99% of the video. And this kind of stuff very much is that. There are toxic individuals in every demographic, which is also a shame for a lot of the movements, because people like this use that as a weapon to discredit the entire movement or the larger issue. It's not good for anyone. But this ain't the way to do it, fam. Come on now. You're being a very silly bean. Incorrectly assuming something is a date. Incel. Excel. Woo!
Anorexia? I don't know her anymore.
2017, and here's today. That is an amazing improvement. Goddamn hell yeah, you go, girl.
Look at how grotesquely fat I've become.
You mean like a completely normal, I don't know what kind of BMI that would be, like 20? Yeah, wow. 20 BMI is grotesque. Jesus Christ, these people aren't real. These people aren't real. I stick by my conspiracy theory. These are aliens trying to probe our social norms to understand us better. These aren't real people.
This is a joke, right? I'm at a healthy weight.
There was a middle ground here that you went over a while back. A good while back, yeah.
Can you imagine any of these people in the comments living up to the body expectations they put out into the world themselves? And also like the incredible toxicity, being like, here's someone who overcame a literal eating disorder and now they're a normal, healthy weight, happy with themselves. You were better when you were anorexic? Bruh, come on, you absolute gross fiend of humanity.
The Bible called wives to please their husbands naughtily, not the other way around. One of the most submissive acts of modern women is paying any heed to the desires of modern women. Ignore them all, they are irrelevant. Until she's on her best behavior, she deserves nothing.
Is this kind of a bit of a choosing beggar thing? Like, I don't imagine this person has ladies lining up so you can just treat them however he wants and they keep coming back, you know? Fam, it's like that first post I read was stating that nowadays women actually have the power to choose. So if you're not like a preferable choice, they're just not gonna choose it. This attitude doesn't fly, and for good reason.
That's a lot of words for I have never made a woman enjoy herself.
I don't understand how people make these posts and don't realize how much it's telling on yourself. I am, intimately speaking, very non-enjoyable to be around, but turning it into like... Fam! God, how do you turn that into a rant?
I absolutely hate it when people call naughties a need. I have needs, or he has specific needs. No, you have wants. Naughties is a desire, not a need. Otherwise, nuns and monks would have died from practicing celibacy. And 99% of the time that I see naughties being called a need, it's to justify cheating. So can we please stop disillusioning ourselves and stop calling naughties a need?
I mean, regular intimacy, body contact and stuff has proven to be healthy, but there are a lot of stuff in life that are healthy that aren't a necessity for survival. Those are vastly different things, and it doesn't mean that anyone is entitled to it because it goes two ways. You know, it involves a second person, and they have to be fine with it. God! Naughties won't cure you. It will only make you happy for a little bit, and then you will still be depressed and angry because you haven't addressed the real problem, your mental health. Yeah, it all starts with you, doesn't it? If you aren't functioning by yourself, so to say, you're not gonna function with a partner. You know, that doesn't fix anything. It's like when broken relationships are like, oh my god, the relationship is broken, let's just have a kid to fix it. That doesn't make it better. If it's already struggling, adding that stress and sleep deprivation is not gonna fix it. Naughties with the woman is a biological necessity.
Hey, Incel, look at this woman.
Ah, she's a naughty worker, it doesn't count, that would be invalid naughties. Non-paid naughties with a woman is a biological necessity.
What about this one?
She's overweight, a land whale, that would be invalid naughties. Non-paid naughties with a skinny woman who is biological necessity.
The next one is beautiful.
Oh, she's 32, a post-wall old hag.
Ooh, like me.
That would be invalid naughties. Non-paid naughties with a skinny young woman is a biological necessity.
Oh, this one is so cute.
Oh, she had a boyfriend before. She's a used adult toy. That would be invalid naughties. Non-paid naughties with a skinny young virgin woman is a biological necessity. How can something so specific be a biological necessity? I do love the use of old school rage comics for this. That'll give a little extra star in the corner. I very much appreciate that. It makes me feel young.
I wish I lived in Viking times. Live in small village in Skyrim where everyone belongs. Sail on long ships and childhood friends. Raid cities and take whatever you want. Hungry, take it by force. Lonely and not good with women. Just capture some slaves and pick one, the prettiest one of your own. Too bad it's 2018.
Oh, this is an old post. You can still take war brides if you visit Uganda. What makes you think you would be the one raiding villages or rich enough to own naughty slaves? You'd probably die of illness or murder by the age of 11. Most likely, yeah. The Vikings of then are the athletes and chads of today. Your position in the hierarchy would have magically changed. And also, like, even if you were the Chad of the Viking era, you would like literally die from, you know, getting a wooden splinter in your foot because penicillin wasn't a thing. So, meh. You know, you can romanticize it all you want, but I sure as shit wouldn't want to live there. This is definitely one of our favorite signs in the bar. Also, if dudes would stop trying to kiss our female bartender's hands, that would be great. Why the female cashier is being nice to you? She is uncontrollably naughtily attracted to you because that's literally her job, you cretin! But that is so true though. Like, service worker just giving a smile and be like, can I get you anything else? That's not flirting. That's just being pleasant to customers. Dear God. Damn, this just ties in so much with that whole logic with like, oh my god, if you're leaning into something and not reading cues or body languages or like the difference between, you know, surface level pleasantries in service industry versus like actual flirting. That is such a shame, man. That is such a shame. We need seminars for this or something at this point, I swear to God. You don't hate women. You hate the fact that they don't like you. I mean, I think it's a bit of both, honestly. It sounds like a bit of both in many of these instances, yeah.
Women shouldn't be able to graduate uni unless their hymen is intact.
Okay, so you don't know how hymens work, which isn't surprising at all. Amen. And it's also such a weird requirement. Okay, hypothetically, these people think, okay, the logic they're using is hymen equals virginity, right? That's the logic behind this post in the first place, which isn't particularly accurate in the first place, but let's pretend that it's for the sake of argument. So you want to fix your own struggle with dates and intimacy by forcing women to have less intimacy, so there's less intimacy to be had out there, and give them like these really weird choices between you can either choose an education or intimacy. Do you think the amount of available intimacy would go up or down? Not to mention, like, you know, the basic human rights that would just be stripped away from this and be like, you're not allowed to even choose your own body and partners, which is gross as shit. So, yeah, no, I can see why no one wants to be around you. This is atrocious.
Gay bad. Minorities bad. Women bad. Men bad.
God, I nailed that voice. Will you forgive them or become a Volcel in this scenario?
I consent.
I consent. I don't.
And who are you?
The man who would have married you. What? If you're visited by the ghost of a hypothetical future husband,
What are you talking about? What is this argument? I swear to God, sometimes weird fantasy arguments that people make up in the shower needs to stay in the fucking shower. We need to normalize being in your 20s and having zero experience with love and relationships. You are not unlovable. You are not ugly. You are not broken. You are not a lost cause. Not prioritizing romantic love isn't embarrassing. It is never too late. Take your time. I know, especially for young people in their late teens and such, that, because it was the same thing around me as well when I grew up, that losing your virginity was like a rush. I think especially for men, the faster you lose it, the more it matters and the more of a player and alpha chad you are, kind of, even though those terms weren't really a thing back then, but the same logic still sort of applied. Looking back at it as like an adult now when I'm like 30, oh my god, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel ready, or you haven't found someone you're comfortable with, or maybe you're struggling with anxiety around it, or whatever it might be, waiting until 20, waiting until 25, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It is nothing to be ashamed of, and anyone who thinks it's something to be ashamed of has pretty messed up values to begin with and probably shouldn't be taken seriously. Take your time. It's not a competition. It's not a rush. Everyone likes different things. Not even everyone likes promiscuity, you know? So, I don't know. I think it's one of those things about youth that I really do not miss, and it's not gonna matter in the long run. Do not feel pressured about these kind of things because it is toxic as hell.
The fact that men think they can spend all their good years saluting about and can come back to you in the sunset of their life with their erectile dysfunction, Michael Jordan jeans and receding hairline really is crazy to me.
I mean, yeah, this is just a universal of what it sounds like in these forums. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus.
Dear angry, preachy, judgy, butthurt conservative men who can't find a woman willing to date you, the free market has spoken.
Oh, that's a bit of universe, isn't it? Oh, man.
Incel. Girl, it didn't agree to naughties after just meeting him. Oh my god.
Be me, have GF, hear about Andrew Tate, decide to look him up, really like his advice. Why would you go there if you already have a partner? Dear God, you already figured it out. Decide to try it on GF to gain her respect. If she's with you, unless the relationship is really weird in some way, if it's just a normal functioning relationship and she's already with you, she probably respects you. Be with her one day, tell her that I cheated on her, I didn't. She is understandably upset, tell her, yeah, got drunk, effed some girl, don't remember her name, if you want to leave, you can leave. She actually does. Heartbroken, text her every day telling her it wasn't real and I was just following advice I got online to be cool. Okay, well that is not very respectable at all.
The older kids online told me to do this to be cool.
No, this is what 12-year-olds do. Tell her to look up Andrew Tate so she will see what I mean. Pretty sure she blocked me. All of our friends hate me now. What the frick do I do? She was my first GF. I literally have nothing without her. You learn about this. It was your first GF, so I'm guessing you're both pretty young. You learn about this. Learn about what a messed up thing this is and how weird this is. This is the kind of games like teenagers play with emotions and like jealousy and getting back on exes. That kind of BS. This isn't what mature people do. Learn from it. Leave her alone. Don't do this again, okay? And this is sort of what I mean. Following these kind of influencer type or alpha male influencers, what they are suggesting doesn't actually work. The only reason it works for them is because they have enough money or whatever that they can get away with being buttholes. You know, that's the reason, and then they're tricking people into thinking that they are successful because of acting like this. That's not why. They can afford to be assholes. It doesn't mean that asshole is something that makes you successful, okay? There's a vast difference between the two.
You are daughter doth OnlyFans.
Good grammar, great start. Who is this?
You don't need to know. Just thought you would like to know what a W word your daughter is. I can send you proof if you like.
And how did you get a hold of her pictures?
I subscribed to her OnlyFans.
Thanks for supporting her business. Wait, did they literally text a parent about this while also subscribing to it themselves? Dear God. What a pathetic individual. C-word carousel? I don't know, I'm not an incel. Oh my god, it's so bad. I love puns. Incels, how can you not accept the black pill, virgins? I'm not going to base my happiness off of the preference of others. Indeed, my god.
Incels, not real single guys who are not constantly complaining about being single, women who don't sleep with 1,357 men by the age of 20, women who like short men, lesbians, asexual, none of them real, don't exist.
Women literally exist to be naughtized. You're walking, talking baby machines and men are programmed to seek you out for naughties. Get over it.
I mean, you could just make the same argument the other way around if you really want to. Men are only there to, like, produce the bobbies and produce their flickety-fluckety jeans splashy. Oh my god, these people, man. My god, touch grass. Touch it really hard.
Where have you been all my life?
For the first 2/3, I wasn't born yet. hold up, gotta remind my future kids where their genetics come from. Aw, heck yeah, girl, get them gains.
You keep putting on all that muscle mass, and your ovaries gonna stop working if they already haven't.
Tell me you know nothing about biology without telling me you know nothing about biology. And also, I think you're just threatened.
Unpopular opinion. Women should post nudes. Every slightly attractive woman should be legally obligated to post nudes or semi-nude photographs of themselves online. Or there should be some government database that all men can access when photos are stored. I feel very strongly about this.
Okay, this just sounds... Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb. There is enough naughty content on the internet for like several thousand lifetimes. Okay, it's very easy to find. This, to me, reads more like I want to be able to creep on women in my vicinity and have them legally obliged to upload nudes to a database. That's how this reads.
This is a major part why I believe women should not ride horses, bicycles, or motorcycles. It is weird and disgusting, because women are naughtily aroused and stimulated by these activities.
Oh my god!
Would this fall in the category making up things to be upset about, or is it just like so grossly misinterpreting reality and then be upset about it without listening to like the actual reasoning behind it? There's the same kind of logic when people are upset at the government for covering up flat Earth, when it's like the whole premise is messed up to begin with, you know? God damn, man.
Do lesbians actually exist? Because all women are somewhat attracted to men as the way to have children. It's surely a biological nature impulse to sleep with men.
What? Your Tinder competition. Sample of an average girl's matches after 30 minutes of swiping in London. Look at that. Buff boy, little handsome boy, little boy at the pub, posing boy for photo, boy swimming, and boy taking selfie in car. Theo, narrow wrist, it's over for him. Chris, wide set eyes, it is over. Jack, personality mogged by Curry, over. Josh, only one match. Timer mogged by Big Ben, over. James, 67 kilometers away, location cell, over. James 2, Gandhi, clone, but Gandhi was a virgin until he was 23, over. Oh my god. And also, what it always comes down to, comparing yourself to like very cherry-picked pictures online is never a good thing to do, because even these people, they look like they're very good looking and photogenic. And then you can also keep in mind that these pictures are probably their best pictures as well. You know, their absolutely best angles, good light, their favorite pictures. Not to mention that a lot of the time on dating profiles, pictures are usually touched up in various ways. So this is like not even the most good looking people. The most good looking people don't normally even look like this. You know, that's the thing with social media and the online world nowadays. Everything is a catfish. Yippee! And even if it wasn't, it shouldn't matter that much. Honestly, just go out and meet people. It's fine. The world is a big place, and most people are perfectly normal and fine. Well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, I hope you learned something very beautiful from today's very educational video, and I hope to see you in the very near future. Have an amazing rest of the day, because you do deserve it, and I will see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.